Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of today's newsletter is going to be, I'm totally unhappy and unfulfilled. I've got an email here from a guy who got a recent promotion. He makes about $100,000 a year. And he says he's working 7 days a week, about 76 hours a week. He works out 3 to 4 days a week, and he's just got no work-life balance. And he's been out with 3 different women over the past month, and he's not happy with the results that he's gotten. And he's just not, he really wants to date higher quality women. So he feels like he's following his purpose and his mission in life, but obviously, working 7 days a week, 76 hours a week, that sucks. So I got a quote that I wrote in this topic, and then we're going to go through his email. And the quote says, "The purpose of life is to enjoy it. We were not put on this earth to simply trade our time for money, slaving away at our careers or businesses. A healthy work and life balance is a result of working to live, not living to work. Your career or business should provide you the financial resources to design and live your life in your own way. You should always be focused on increasing your skills and therefore the value that you can add through your life's work. The more value you add, the higher your compensation will be. As Ralph Waldo Emerson said, make yourself necessary to somebody. Money gives you choices, but most people are simply trying to survive the work week and make it to the weekend instead of being focused on becoming great and valuable at something they love for a living. By having a compelling vision and purpose for your life and creating a solid plan you can execute to achieve it, in time you will be able to design and live the life and lifestyle of your dreams." So let's go through his email. He says, "Hi Corey, my name is Bob." Not really his name. He says, "I'm 31 and I live in Kentucky and I seem to be doing well in life. I just got a promotion at my job working for GE and I make around $100,000 a year. I just paid cash for a nice red convertible car." Sounds cool. Again, money gives you choices. It doesn't necessarily make you happy. I've met a lot of very wealthy people in my life that are absolutely fucking miserable. He says, "I recently started a small business as well, yet I am totally unhappy and unfulfilled. I seem to be having issues with 2 things. First, I am having a very busy work schedule at my job lately, working 76 hours a week, 7 days a week." Well, that right there, that's not a very healthy way to go about your career. As a matter of fact, back when I was in the construction industry, we had done, companies that I had worked with had done productivity surveys to see, because a lot of times in the construction industry, a job gets behind and then everybody's got to overstaff the job and work 7 days a week, whatever it takes. And what was interesting, as people approached 70, 80 hours a week, they actually became less productive. And so when you start approaching like 80, 90 hours a week, the actual productivity of the work that you're putting in place really equates to about 60 hours. And so if you're working 7 days a week with no days off, that's just simply not healthy. You got to have at least 1 day a week to yourself. A day that you can do whatever the fuck you want, whether it's, even if it's just sitting down, doing a Netflix marathon or an HBO marathon or whatever it is, sitting in front of the TV, watching movies, doing nothing and spacing out, having a few beers, smoking a few bowls, whatever it is that you do, eating chocolate cake, whatever. You got to have time to just unplug and do nothing except what you feel like doing. Because otherwise you feel like you're in a rat race. You don't really, when you're working that many hours, I can understand if it's a short period of time, but if it's something that goes on for many months or even years, that's just not healthy. It's not healthy for your body. And at the end of the day, just like I said in the quote, the whole purpose of life is to enjoy it. So maybe instead of working 7 days a week, you work 6 days a week. And if you have to put in the hours, well, you work a few more hours each day if you have to. You got to find a way to have time for yourself. And especially like entrepreneurs are guilty of this. One of the things that most entrepreneurs struggle with when they have a business is paying themselves. Because they figure, I'll only take out a little bit and the rest I can leave in the company and I can reinvest it, I can buy more product, I can hire more people, I can do more advertising. And they always end up putting themselves last, and because there's always something that you can spend the extra money on. But you need to compensate yourself well enough for the work that you're doing. In other words, if you had to hire somebody to do the job that you're doing, what would you pay them? And obviously you need to make sure that you're at least making that amount of money. Pay yourself first. Successful entrepreneurs understand that. You've got to pay yourself first so you can have a life and lifestyle. That's the whole reason why you have your own business, is to give you the freedom to come and go as you please. But when you're working like this, I mean, that sucks, dude. I wouldn't want to work 7 days a week. I love what I do for a living, but I don't work that much. I spend usually Monday through Thursday are the only days that I actually work. Sometimes I'll work 3 days a week because I've got other interests outside this business that I have that most of you know me through. I mean, again, the reason why I do this is so I can spend my life in my own way and do what I want when I want. If I want to travel or I want to go to a trade show or something or a conference, I can go and do those things. I can shoot extra videos ahead of time if I'm going to be out of town, and everything's handled because this business supports me living the lifestyle that I want. And what's nice compared to the business I have today versus the one that you maybe have heard talked about in the past, when I was in the construction, real estate, and the mortgage industry, I had 2 business partners. We had 40 employees between all the seven different companies that we had. It was very lucrative and very successful, but at the end of the day, a lot of employees that were counting on me, and when you have business partners, that's like being married to 2. I had 2 of them, so it was like being married to 2 other people. So you can't just decide, oh, I'm going to take off for a week or a month or whatever. I mean, the business I have now, I mean, I can run my business from anywhere in the world as long as I get an internet connection in my laptop. And it's amazing the freedom that it gives me. But I spent a lot of years, I invested pretty much everything that I had made in the real estate and the mortgage industry to get this business to where it is today. That was the capital that I put into it, and I was willing to do it because I knew in the long run it would pay off. But it took many years. It took 4.5 years for me just to figure out my business model, to figure out an effective way to market myself and to get my message out there in a way that people could use and see value at it. And and this particular guy's written me the email. He's got a successful business on the side. I would assume that maybe someday the idea is to step away from your job at GE and then work in your business full time. Because, I mean, let's face it, when you work for a big company, most of the salaries and the positions are locked in to a certain pay scale, and so you're limited to that. I mean, $100,000 a year is a nice living. You can have a comfortable lifestyle on that, but that's not rich by any means. But then again, you hear some politicians, they try to use class warfare to say, oh, anybody that makes over 50, 60 grand a year, you're rich. It's like people making 50, 60 grand a year after taxes and everything. What are you left with? $25,000, $30,000 net? That's not an extravagant lifestyle. So he says, I'm trying to find a better work-life balance, but after working 7 days a week and going to the gym 3 to 4 days a week, it does not leave much free time to go out and have fun and enjoy life. Again, you should schedule it. I mean, work 5 days a week and work extra hours if you have to on those days. I mean, you gotta have at least 1 day a week because you're not going to be as productive if you're there 7 days a week. That's just the reality of it. You can do it for short periods of time, but if it's going to be something that you're just going to do month after month because you just got a new promotion, you're trying to make a good impression or whatever, I mean, in the long run, you're robbing yourself and you're robbing the company, because if you're coming to work every day, you're pissed off that your personal life's not going very well. At some point, you're going to start to question, why am I working so hard? Why am I doing all of this? And that's going to sap your motivation, your energy, your enthusiasm for what you're doing. The whole reason why you're working at a job is so you can earn money and live the life that you want. So you can buy the things that you want. You can travel and do the kind of things that you want. You can live in the kind of home that you want, drive the kind of car that you want. Obviously, when not, you paid cash. That's wonderful that you have the resources to do that, because most people in this world don't. But you've basically become a slave to your job. You're right now, the way you're living your life is you're living to work. You're not working to live. That's not healthy. But again, like I said, short periods of time, it's okay. He says, then second, I have totally struck out in the dating world. Just in the past month, I went out on 3 dates. One girl said that she just wanted to be friends. Then the other two girls I have dated both demanded money for sex, which I refused. Where are you meeting these women that are demanding money for sex? Are you hanging out in titty bars or something? I mean, I personally, in my life, I've never had a woman say something like that to me, and I've met and talked to a lot of women in my life. I've never had one say, hey, I'll sleep with you if you pay me. I don't pay for pussy, and you shouldn't either. So the idea is when you're not working and you're spending your extra time, you should be doing it you're at the gym working out. Maybe you meet somebody there that's healthy and just as focused on being in shape as you are. That's a great place to meet like-minded people. You should be doing things in your spare time, things that are fun, that are enjoyable, that allow you to step away from your job at GE and just focus on enjoying yourself and whatever the activity happens to be, and you'll meet other like-minded people there. But when I see the fact that you've gone out with 3 women and 2 of them demanded money for sex, I got a question. It's like, what are you doing? Where are you hanging out where you're interacting with women who want money to have sex with you? Are you hanging out with prostitutes? Are you going out with escorts? I mean, I've talked to people that do that because it's lazy and it's easy. They pay women to go out with them and have sex with them, but they wonder why they're not meeting a girlfriend, or they're trying to date the escorts. It's a bad way to go. You want to find somebody that has the same goals, same values as you do. And just for the fact, I mean, those numbers aren't really good. That the majority of the women, over 60% of the women that you've met in the last 30 days have wanted you to pay them for sex. So wherever you're meeting those kind of women, it sounds like you definitely need to change where you are spending your limited free time. I would really like to attract higher quality women into my life. I'm looking for longer term relationship material. I know your videos say that like attracts like, and to be focused on your mission in life to become a better version of yourself, then the women will fall into place. That's absolutely true. But if in your spare time you're hanging out in titty bars or whatever, trying to pick up chicks that take their clothes off for a living, and you're trying to date some of those women, I mean, what do you expect? That tells me that, I mean, think about it. If you're going to a titty bar and you're meeting a chick and you're paying her to dance for you, and then you ask her to meet you outside of that type of environment, and so some of those women they're happy to be escorts. Some of those women will sleep with you and have sex with you as long as they're getting paid for it. I had a guy that I knew many years ago that was like that. That's like all he wanted to do was every Friday and Saturday night he wanted to go hang out at the dollhouse. I was like, come on, man, let's go out and hang out with people that are like-minded. I want to be hanging out in some smoky-ass fucking titty bar. He happened to like strippers, and sometimes he was able to pick these women up successfully, but it wasn't my idea of fun. I mean, if you're fishing in the sewer, what do you expect? So you got to fish in a good pond that has the kind of fish that you want. Where are the kind of women that you would like to meet, hanging out at? And that's where you need to be spending your free time. However, lately, it's not just happening for me, and I've been frustrated lately. Again, you went out on 3 dates in the past month. That's great. A lot of guys would love to have gone out on 3 dates over the past 30 days. Bottom line is you just need to interact with more of the type of women that you would like to date. And from your email, like I said, I definitely tell wherever it is that you're hanging out, you're meeting these women that want money for sex, you need to fucking change your approach, dude. Maybe an online dating profile. I did an article several years ago. If you Google Corey Wayne, the ultimate online dating profile, you can find it. You can set yourself up a Match.com profile. There's also dating apps like Tinder. There's eHarmony. There's a bunch of other. There's tons of them. Friend Finder. I can't even think. There's tons of them out there where you can meet people if your time is limited. And in your case, if you set up a profile that's similar to the type that I suggest, you'll actually have women contacting you first, and then you can just set dates on your day off, or maybe you got an evening that you meet a girl for drinks after you've worked a long day. The idea is schedule your time, and the good news is that you're working out. The healthier you eat and the more you work out, the less sleep that you're going to need. And especially with you working as much as you're working, that'll help you stay sharp, mentally focused. You'll be more efficient at work. you'll need less sleep, and you'll have more free time to enjoy your life. That's what I would definitely focus on if I were you, because obviously the approach that you're taking it's not a very efficient one, and obviously you're not being very productive. You're busy, but you're not being as productive as you could be. You want to work smarter, not harder. Me personally, I'm a lazy person. Even though I work very hard, I'm lazy. I'm always looking for the path of least resistance. And I learned at a very young age that people come and go into your life. Everything that happens to you doesn't happen by accident. There's no such thing as coincidences. That's what I believe. That's been my life experience, and that's the way I go about my life. And so in times when I'm single and I'm looking to meet somebody new, I'm just focused on taking care of myself and hanging out in the kinds of places that are fun for me and hanging out with the kind of people that I enjoy hanging out with. And I know it's just a matter of time before I meet that next great love of my life. That's the way it's always worked. I'm not the type of guy that's going to run around downtown or go out to bars and nightclubs 3-4 days a week because I'm trying to meet women. I hardly ever drink. I don't do those kinds of things. I tend to hang out with people that have healthier habits, that like to take care of themselves, that tend to eat healthier, that tend to have a more holistic approach to life. And it's never failed me. It's always worked. And you just live your life and you enjoy yourself and have a great life, create a great life and lifestyle for yourself. And meeting members of the opposite sex will become a side effect of you being awesome. So if you'd like to get my help personally, the quickest way is to book a paid phone, Skype, or email coaching session. You can choose any of those options by going to my website, clicking the products tab at the top of your screen, and just follow the instructions for booking whichever option works best for you. And I will talk to you soon.